Capitola Black Recordings presents an unabridged recording of The Lost Jewel by Charlotte Marie Tucker, or A Lady of England. Chapter 5. An Exchange. "You've not paid your score for the last, and not another drop shall you have from me. Get you gone for a drunken rogue as you are." The scene was the bar of a low public-house on the Surrey side of the Thames. The speaker was a stout, coarse-featured woman, attired in a brown silk gown a good deal the worse for wear, a black lace cap, trimmed with red ribbon, and large ear-rings which, if not made of gold, were intended to pass for that metal. "Och, it's not you as would be hard on a poor soul as have been up all this blessed night without a drop of the crater to warm him, bawling his throat dry ere the carriages caused the gentry, bad luck to 'em, wouldn't fling him a copper for his trouble." Weary and haggard indeed looked Dermot. Such was the name of the man who now stood at the door of the Green Lion. He was a picture of sordid misery. An old hat, guiltless of brim and battered in at the crown, surmounted a tangled mass of hair. The bare elbows appeared through the sleeves, the feet through the worn-out shoes. The rags on the back of the wretched man would hardly hold together. But it was not want in misery that might be traced on the unwashed, unshaven face. Dermot's bleared eyes and reddened nose gave signs of habitual intoxication, while his unsteady gait and thick utterance contradicted his assertions that the night had been spent without a drop of the crater. "Off with ye!" cried the landlady sharply. "You've had too much already. Do you think I give away my liquor for nothing?" "Fair exchange is no robbery," said the Irishman. "There's what'll pay for a glass of gin." "What is it?" inquired the stout landlady. "A real diamond it is," replied the linkman, carefully rubbing the object which she produced on that sleeve of his velveteen jacket. "A diamond? Stuff and nonsense! It's no more a diamond than I am a duchess. Do you think I don't know a jewel when I see one? We don't have diamonds as big as a pigeon's egg." "It's a real Irish diamond," said Dermot stoutly. "A piece of cut glass, I take it," observed the woman, examining the A.L.O.E with the air of a connoisseur and turning it round and round in her short, thick fingers. "'Tain't a bad imitation, neither. It wouldn't look ill as a show-pin. Just the thing for a real lady like you, Mrs. Brown. I've kept it for ye, I have, this fortnight, says I. Take your gin, then, and away with you," cried the landlady, pushing a glass of the liquid poison towards the already half-intoxicated man. Then, sweeping the atma into her capacious pocket, Mrs. Brown resolved that she would step over the way, where, next to a rag and bottle warehouse, stood a small shop, its window gay with all sorts of tinsel ornaments, glass set in copper, old bead headdresses, faded feathers, gaudy crowns worn by play queens in low theatres, and a quality of second-hand finery as dirty as it was showy. "Timmins will set this strongly for 2d," thought Mrs. Brown. "I lost my big blue shawl pin on Thursday, and this will make a better show for the money." Dermot reeled out of the public-house, one step lower in the scale of degradation, one step farther on the path of ruin. Who that looked at him now could have thought him as he once was, an innocent, golden-haired child, the delight of his mother, who, as she bent over her firstborn, formed such bright hopes for his future? Who could have thought of him as the neat, active boy, the favourite in the village, ready to do anyone a service, and treading earth as lightly and joyously as if care and sorrow were nothing but names? Who could have thought of him as the respectable, industrious young man who wooed and won the black-eyed Nora, and who felt such pride and joy as he brought home his darling wife to their small but comfortable home? Alas! What hath one cit wrought, what misery has followed one fatal habit? There are children wailing for bread in the damp, cellar-like room, which will only be exchanged for the workhouse. There is a haggard, hollow-cheeked wife, bent and aged, not by time, but by care and misery and want, who dreads to hear that step for which she once listened with delight, who bears on her face marks of a brutal blow from the hand which placed on hers the wedding ring which she had been forced to pawn for food. And yet, but that morning, Dermot had picked up from the dust of the street a jewel, for which placards, could he have read them, were even now being posted in 100 windows, for which advertisements had been sent to every leading paper in the town. A reward had been offered for that jewel, the possession of which would at once have raised him from poverty to comfort, would have clothed his ragged children, and saved his wife from the lingering death to which hardship and misery had doomed her. That jewel Dermot had thrown away for a glass of gin. Yes, even as he was daily throwing away things far more precious, health, character, peace of mind, present blessings, future hopes, the gift of reason, and the glorious privileges of a soul redeemed. Was he the first, will he be the last, to lose the Atma, the jewel, for the brief enjoyment of a maddening draught? Thank you for listening to Capitola Black Recordings. I hope you have enjoyed this recording of The Lost Jewel by Charlotte Marie Tucker.